It's time for Wretched Radio with Todd Friel.
Resist the temptation, Friel. Resist the temptation. This is Wretched Radio.
Never goes well.
Thanks to the people who sent the following to idea@wretchedradio.com. It is because of them that I'm about to share these stories. In other words, I couldn't resist the temptation. Nevertheless, I am going to try to resist the temptation. I fear that I'm going to stumble and fall. Why? Because I can't help but share these stories for starters. Miraculous double novena St. Joseph, St. Jude house selling kits. This was sent in light of the 500th anniversary of the Protestant Reformation, and I can't help but talk about it. This is from totallycatholic.com. Martin Luther might have something to say about this. Our newest product, the Miraculous Double Novena St. Joseph / St. Jude House. I thought they helped kids. Could be wrong. The Miraculous Double Novena St. Joseph St. Jude House selling kit is especially made for that impossible-to-sell home. You're kidding me. The age-old Catholic practice of burying a statue of St. Joseph in order to sell a house, it's making a comeback. Well, that's just terrific. In fact, it says it right here, at a terrific price. Buy one for every friend and family member who's trying to sell a home. You see, if these things were really powerful, you just buy one and pass it around to your pals. But no, got to buy one at a time. You don't suppose this is about making money, do you? We sell these by the case to Catholic realtors. Buy 10, and apparently you get a lucky rabbit's foot, too, is apparently what the author is here. But we sell these by the case because they really do work when done in faith, capital faith, and prayer. In this special kit, you invoke the intercession. I'm just reading the script here from the Catholic website. You invoke the intercession of both St. Joseph for home and real estate issues and St. Jude, the patron saint of impossible causes.
The Beatles?
Kits, no, that's Hey Jude. Kits include novena cards. Joey, wait a second. Tony, you used to be Catholic. What's a novena card?
I have no idea.
Not a very good Catholic, apparently.
Well, apparently not.
I'm not sure there's many of those these days, frankly. Kits include novena cards to both saints, 10 statue of St. Joseph for burying. What did he do to deserve that? And beautifully detailed medal of St. Jude. All that for just $9.95. Oh, by the way, this is very nice, too. This is in the finer print on the bottom, and I've got my cheaters on so I can actually read this. Every 10-pack that gets packaged up at our miracle-working plant is packaged by a practicing Roman Catholic who utters "and a bibbidi-bobbidi-boo" over each 10-pack. So that...
Technically, a novena would be like a prayer card. It will have a prayer written on it.
Like a small devotional.
Okay, so wait a second. Okay, so you have to say that you've got to bury St. Joseph. What sort of paganism is this? I mean, honestly. Statue? I get it. When you like your image, I don't want to be buried. I'm not nuts about the idea. Nevertheless, burying your image, that doesn't seem like a high compliment. But now, how does that activate the power? Name that Bible verse. Oh, I'm sure, my Roman Catholic friend, I just misunderstand it. I don't know what I'm talking about, and John Calvin murdered Servetus. I understand the whole thing. I got it. Look at this. I'm not resisting this temptation, that's for sure. Again, sent in light of the Protestant Reformation. How to Go to Heaven by Jimmy Akin, A-K-I-N. And he wrote, Akin, A-C-H-A-N. Was Akin the guy who was told, nobody steal anything, just destroy the town, don't loot. But he did. He buried stuff, and then he was killed when it was discovered that he had taken it. I think that was A-C-H-A-N. I think I've got that right. But, that actually raises an interesting thought. Because if I'm not mistaken, and right now we've got our very studious staff. Okay, Joey's looking right now. Joey's looking it up. My recollection is that didn't Akin's whole family die because Dad stole the stuff and he was not supposed to do the looting? I think I've got that right. I'm just asking a question. How do you respond when God would have an entire family killed for violating a particular command. Does that make you go, whoa? I have to confess to you, after the shooting on Sunday, I pondered that idea. What would happen in our culture? What would happen in our culture if a man went on a mass shooting spree? But the punishment was, not only will you die, but so will your whole family if you commit a crime such as that. It seems to me that that could save a lot of lives because the protection that it would afford to people, as maybe people, even with some mental issues, would be aware, wait a second, the people who are closest to me, they would die too, would most certainly curb at least some behavior, would it not? It just got me to thinking, we got to do something in this country to start protecting people, because it doesn't seem anybody's coming up with any great solutions. Do I have my Aiken story right, Joey?
Yeah, I believe so.
All right. And the whole family died, correct?
There's a little unclear text because it says, and Joshua and all Israel took Achan, son of Zerah, and the silver and the gold, the silver and the cloak and the bar of gold, and his sons and daughters and his oxen and his donkeys and sheep and all his tenth and all they had. They brought them up to the valley of Achor, and then it says, all Israel stoned him with stones. They burned them with fire and stoned them with stones. So the them is not abundantly clear, but it could be.
It seemed to include the family.
Yeah.
So maybe don't want to use that verse to maybe suggest that the whole family. Well, it's a federal head idea is the concept. And federal head is a biblical concept. You have a federal head. You had one in Adam, and now you have one in Jesus Christ. Much better, by the way. But it wasn't uncommon. We've got a federal head right now in government. Like him or not, your president is he represents you. He's over in Japan. He's speaking on your behalf. And so the concept is a biblical concept where whole families would pay the price, whole nations would pay the price for bad behavior of the federal head. But that's a different Aiken. This is Jimmy Akin. This is what you need to do to go to heaven, according to this Roman Catholic apologist. So that's what you need to do if you want to come to God and be saved. Here it is. Repent, have faith, and be baptized. That's a problem. If you do these things, you'll be in a state of grace. And as long as you remain in a state of grace, you'll go to heaven. That's what he says you must do. Now, first of all, I think he's forgetting some things like confession, last rites, getting married in the Catholic Church, the things that you have to continue to do to remain in a state of grace, as well as not commit any particular class of sins. That's the Roman Catholic version. Does that sound like grace alone, faith alone, in Jesus Christ alone? No, it doesn't. And that is why the Reformation is still going on. All right. Wasn't able to resist the temptation in that story either. I'm just hoping that I'm going to be able to resist the temptation to play this.
Hello, this is Bob Athelstan
No,
with
apparently
Relics,
not.
Relics, your source for sacred Christian relics. We carry a wide assortment of relics for all purposes, from earthly miracles to heavenly rewards. Right now we have a special on the one-of-a-kind skull of John the Baptist. Choose from child, teen, or adult. Hurry fast because quantities are limited. The first 100 people who call in to order the blessed skull of John the Baptist will receive a 2-inch by 2-inch piece of the actual cross. Free. Hundreds of thousands of satisfied customers have attested to the miracles happening in their lives since they have owned these palm-sized chunks of the real historical actual cross that Christ himself was crucified on. Pick up our catalog or visit us on our internet site. While you're there, be sure to order our Holy Plate and Chalice dinnerware. Use it the one and original Last Supper. Available in 10 and 20-piece sets. Remember, here at Relics, our motto is you don't need grace when you've got sacred relics, always at fair prices.
Failing miserably today. No, I can't resist this temptation either. How to pray your loved ones out of purgatory this November. Well, that's nice from the Catholic News Agency. It's the first week of November, which means it's the best time of year for you to shave off some temporal punishment for all of your loved ones in purgatory. That's in 3 Samuel. You can find that. According to the Catechism of the Catholic Church, those who go to heaven are, quote, those who die in God's grace and friendship and are perfectly purified. They get to live forever with Christ. And here I thought Jesus did that work on the cross. Silly me. Purgatory is a place where souls go who die in grace and friendship with God, but are still imperfectly purified. So they have to undergo perfection. And I thought Jesus accomplished that on the cross. Souls in purgatory rely on the prayers of souls still on the earth by gaining indulgences for them. That, according to the Catholic Catechism, Alive and Well, number 1471, is a remission before God of a temporal punishment due to sins whose guilt has already been forgiven, who is duly disposed, gains under certain prescribed conditions through the action of the Church, which dispenses and applies with authority the treasury of the satisfaction of Christ and the saints. Well, that's weird. I thought that everything had been fixed up and cleaned up since the time of the Reformation, but nope. Relics, indulgences, purgatory, same old, alive and well. This is Wretched Radio. Thank you very much for watching one segment. You can listen to 3 more, well, if you can stomach it, for free at wretched.org, iTunes, Android, whatever your listening device is. If you have a plate in your head, you can pick up the program from anywhere around the world, thanks to the ongoing monthly support of our gospel partners. Should you be one of the people who has listened to the program for an extended period of time, meaning more than once, would you please consider becoming a gospel partner so we can continue to proclaim the good news of the gospel? Simply visit wretched.org.